Let's continue our contemplation on the spiritual significance of Navaratri. Today is day 6, and day 6 is dedicated to Mother Katyayani. Mother Katyayani brings us the wisdom of action, of who is the doer. Who is really the doer? Who is doing all these things? Sri Krishna Bhagavan in the Bhagavad Gita says, in the 3rd chapter, in the Karma Yoga, he says, Prakritehe kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. So he says that Prakritehe kriyamanani, every single action, every single thing is done by Prakriti, the Divine Mother. And ahankara vimudhatma, in your delusion, you think that you are doing. Now, it's something similar to this. So we see various objects in the living room. Let's say a TV and a fan or a tube light and a bulb. Now all of these are operating. Now if the fan is moving and the fan starts saying, "I am moving," it's quite silly because we all know the underlying energy that's making the fan move is electricity. And that's the same electricity that's making all the other objects work, other appliances work. In the same way, the body-mind intellect is an appliance. And even objects, be it the big galaxy and the planets, the sun, the moon, the star, the ocean, the trees, the wind, the human beings, the animals, everything is moving because of Prakriti, Mother Katyayani. It's the Divine Mother that is the real doer. It's like electricity is the real doer. Similarly, this Divine Mother is the real doer, and we are only instrumental. This is very well illustrated in the story of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. There was once an atheist who wanted to meet Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and prove to him logically how God doesn't exist. So he was welcomed, and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa sat before him and started listening to his arguments. And he was in awe because the arguments were so crystal clear and beautiful. He laid down the points and then he said, to conclude, based on what I've said, God does not exist. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was like, wow, I bow down to you, and I bow down to the mother who has given the intelligence to you. So using the intelligence, you are proving to me that God doesn't exist. But the one that is operating that intelligence is the Divine Mother. So in reality, if you really want to do something without the grace, without the blessing, without the cooperation of the Divine, you cannot do anything. So it's like this, think of the ocean. Every movement in the ocean, the movement of the wave, is actually the movement of the ocean. There are thousands of waves moving, and every single wave's movement is the movement of the ocean. The real doer is the ocean, and the waves rise and fall. Similarly, we are only instrumental. The real doer is Prakriti. That's why Sri Krishna says, Prakritehe kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah. So how is this relevant? How is this relevant in my life or in our life? So does this mean that I don't do anything and everything is taken care of? It does also mean that if I am not the doer, I can do whatever I want and just put the blame on Prakriti and say, I didn't do it. Divine Mother is doing. So this is not for you to manipulate or use in any way, any distorted way. This is for you to understand, rather question. It is a beginning of inquiry of who is the real doer. Look at where you've come so far in life and see how much of that was your doing. Is life your doing, or life is a happening and you're just a witness to it? So the teaching of spirituality of Sanatana Dharma is Naham Karta Harideva Karta. You are not the doer. Things are happening in life, and things are happening through you. Now you recognize it and become free from the sense of doership. When you become free from the sense of doership that I am doing, you allow more universal and divine actions to happen through you. The more you say, I am doing, the more you attract the results to you. That's what is called karma phala. Karma phala is for the karta. So if you say, I am the doer, then karma comes back to you. So if you want to become free from the karmic results, free from the cycle of birth and death, you understand and you realize, with the help of the grace of the teacher, with the grace of the scriptures and the grace of the Divine Mother, you understand you are not the doer. You are like the fan and the bulb and the TV, only instrument. The one who is really doing is Prakriti. And when you understand this, you become relaxed, because the burden of doing has been lifted from your head. Now you can witness the divine play unfold. This is the message that day 6 brings us. The day 6 of Navaratri brings to us, which is dedicated to Mother Katyayani, which makes us inquire, who is the real doer?